Okay, let's unpack this. If you've ever had that dream, starting a business, getting a big idea off the ground, chances are you've hit that wall. That moment where excitement meets, how on earth do I pay for this? I don't have piles of cash. It really feels like there ought to be some kind of manual, right? A blueprint to success that gets around needing massive capital up front. Well, guess what? Today, we're diving deep into exactly that. Our mission is to crack open a really insightful source and pull out the practical stuff you need to overcome that lack of capital hurdle and actually fund your dream.
And this source we're digging into today is precisely that kind of manual. We're looking at Funding Your Dream, Overcoming Lack of Capital by Julian Kelly. It's part of the Blueprints to Business Mastery series. And you're right, it cuts straight to the point. This whole idea that you need like tens or hundreds of thousands just to start, it's honestly one of the biggest myths holding people back. This book doesn't just identify the problem, it gives you concrete, actionable strategies. We're going to extract the really key nuggets here, the stuff that can genuinely help you forge that path.
Fantastic. So let's get right to the heart of it then, challenging that big money myth. The source kicks things off with the truth about startup costs. It really pushes back, doesn't it, against that idea of needing huge sums right away.
It does, and it uses great examples, real-world stuff. It talks about Sarah Blakely, starting Spanx with just $5,000, her own savings.
Just $5K for Spanx. Wow.
Right, or Damon John launching FUBU. He didn't start in some fancy factory. He started with sewing machines in his mother's house. The point isn't the initial money pile. It's the resourcefulness, smart thinking, execution.
That completely reframes it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Shifts the whole focus. It's less of the cash you have and more about how cleverly you use what you can access.
Exactly. Now, the book acknowledges costs vary, obviously. A tech startup isn't the same as a service business or, say, an online shop, but it argues the real trap is thinking too far ahead. People get hung up on expenses maybe years down the line,
instead of focusing on the absolute minimum needed just to get started, to get some momentum.
Precisely. And a huge part of that is separating necessities from luxuries right now. What do you absolutely need versus what would be nice to have? You don't need the fancy office space on day one. You don't need the absolute top-tier equipment or that perfect polished website.
So what do you need then, according to the source?
Clients, or at least solid proof that people will pay for what you're offering. The number one priority has to be revenue generation, validating the idea in the real world before you sink cash into everything else.
Okay, give us a couple of examples from the book. How do you start that lean?
Sure. For e-commerce, instead of buying a mountain of inventory you hope sells, use print on demand. Items only get made when someone orders, or even better, pre-sale.
Selling it before you even make it.
Exactly. That gives you cash flow, improves demand. It's brilliant. For services, forget expensive ads initially. The source points to networking, referrals, often free, incredibly effective ways to get those first clients, that first revenue stream.
And it also tackles that feeling that you have to use your own money.
Right.
That self-limiting belief.
Yes. It quickly says, look, lack of personal savings isn't the end of the road. It introduces alternatives early on, bootstrapping, which we'll get into, crowdfunding, grants, microloans, creative options.
So it frames the financial side less like a wall and more like a series of calculated risks.
Perfectly put. It pushes you to ask, what is the absolute bare minimum I need? What can I cut out or delay?
And the digital age makes a huge difference here too, the source notes.
Oh, massively. Free website builders, social media for marketing, LinkedIn for networking, tons of free online learning.
Wow.
For many ideas, the actual dollar cost to just start is lower than ever.
So if we boil this first part down, the biggest expense isn't really money. It's time, effort, resourcefulness.
That's the core insight. Resourcefulness, not riches, gets you started. It really does change the game.
Okay. And that perspective leads right into the next big fork in the road the source discusses. Bootstrapping versus raising capital, a really critical decision.
Yeah, this choice fundamentally shapes how your business grows, its whole trajectory, really.
All right. Let's define these based on the book. Bootstrapping. What exactly does that entail?
Bootstrapping, as the source explains it, is funding the business mainly with your own savings at the very start and then really aggressively reinvesting every bit of revenue back in. It's all about keeping costs super low, growing sustainably, using your own cash flow. Think MailChimp famously bootstrapped for years into a massive company.
Just reinvesting profits.
Yep. And Ben & Jerry's started with just $12,000 total. Only $4,000 of that was personal savings.
Wow. So the big advantage of bootstrapping.
Control. Total control. You own 100%. You make the calls. No outside investors breathing down your neck for rapid growth. It builds amazing financial discipline too. Forces you to focus on profit from day one. Builds resilience.
But there must be downsides.
Oh, sure. The source is clear. Growth can be slow. Much slower. Your ability to hire fast, launch big marketing pushes, scale aggressively, it's all limited by how much cash you're actually generating.
Okay, so contrast that with raising capital. What does the source say about that path?
Raising capital means going external, getting funding from investors, maybe angel investors early on, or venture capitalists, VCs, for faster, bigger growth. Or it could be bank loans, certain grants designed for scaling up. The driver here is usually speed. Rapid growth at your own revenue just can't fuel quickly enough.
Examples.
The book points to Tesla needed huge VC investment for R&D and manufacturing. Or Starbucks raised significant money before they rolled out stores everywhere.
The advantage seems obvious. Faster growth, bigger scale.
Exactly. You get resources to take bigger risks, develop complex stuff faster, grab market share quickly. But, and this is a big but, in the source, there are major trade-offs. The biggest.
Loss of control.
Bingo. You take investor money, you get resources, but you give up autonomy. You are now accountable to people whose main goal is financial return. That can lead to pressure for short-term results, decisions maybe you wouldn't make otherwise. The source even brings up Steve Jobs being pushed out of Apple back in '85, a classic, stark example of losing control after taking outside funding.
Yeah, that definitely drives the point home. And the book also questions that common idea that getting investors is always the ultimate win, the sign you've made it.
This is so important. It highlights companies like Patagonia, famously never went public, never took VC money. Why? To protect their environmental mission over pure profit.
And Spanx, as you mentioned, self-funded for ages.
Right. These examples show that real success comes from a strong product, a clear vision, smart strategy, not just from getting investor cash. Investor money is a tool, not the definition of success itself.
So it sounds like the book suggests it's a strategic choice, maybe even a mix, not one size fits all.
Yes. Very much so. It lays out situations where bootstrapping might be a really good fit for you. Like if your business model generates cash, quickly think services, consulting, coaching, maybe certain e-commerce like drop shipping, or if keeping full control is your absolute top priority, if your business can grow gradually, if you want to minimize financial risk early on, or if you can really lean into sweat equity, doing a lot yourself at the start.
And it briefly touches on how to bootstrap successfully.
Yeah, it previews concepts we'll see later. Stay lean, validate your idea constantly with real customers, focus obsessively on cash flow and profit, use free or low-cost marketing, and reinvest.
That tees us up perfectly for the next section, creative funding strategies, moving beyond just bootstrapping or big VC rounds.
Exactly. This is where the manual gets really practical about alternatives, especially for overcoming that initial funding gap. It's all about resourcefulness. Crowdfunding gets a lot of attention. Platforms like Kickstarter, Indiegogo, GoFundMe.
It's not just about raising money, is it?
Not at all. It's incredible validation. You're testing your idea directly with potential customers before you sink loads of cash into making it.
So what makes a crowdfunding campaign work, according to the book?
A few key things. A compelling story, the why behind your product. Attractive rewards that actually motivate people to back you. And then you have to promote it relentlessly. The source mentions big names like Oculus Rift. Huge Kickstarter success led to that $2 billion Facebook acquisition. Pebble smartwatch too. But it stresses it's not just for tech. Board games, ethical fashion, food products, all sorts.
Okay, and pre-sales. How's that different?
Pre-sales are simpler in a way. You're just selling your product or service directly before it's officially launched or fully produced. Again, it generates cash up front to fund production and crucially proves people will buy it. Super effective for e-commerce, courses, books, even some tech hardware.
Platforms like Shopify make that easier now.
Yeah, many platforms have features built in to handle pre-orders pretty smoothly.
The book also dives into grants and business competitions.
Right, this is non-repayable funding. Money you don't pay back, no equity given up. Huge advantage. Usually comes from governments, nonprofits, big corporations, often tied to specific missions, innovation, sustainability, social impact, job creation, supporting minority entrepreneurs.
So it adds credibility too, not just cash.
Definitely. Winning a grant is a stamp of approval. You usually need detailed plans, meet specific criteria. The source mentions SBA programs like SBR's TTR, state grants, corporate ones from FedEx, Verizon, Amazon. Lots of possibilities.
bartering and skill swaps. That sounds very bootstrapping friendly.
Totally. A great way to save cash early on, trade your graphic design for web development help, or your product for marketing advice. Saves money, builds your network.
And strategic partnerships.
Partnering with a bigger established company, sometimes they offer financial backing or maybe distribution help, marketing support. You might offer them a cut of revenue or co-branding, like a tech startup partnering with a large firm to use their sales channels.
Community lending, too.
Yes, the obvious one is friends and family, though the book stresses doing that formally, with clear written terms, but also peer-to-peer platforms like Kiva or Lending Club.
What really stands out here, especially with pre-sales and crowdfunding, is how they reduce risk.
Right.
You're proving demand before heavy investment.
Absolutely a critical insight. And the source makes a powerful point by highlighting examples of Black entrepreneurs using these methods effectively, especially when traditional funding routes, like VC, didn't understand or value their specific market or vision. It becomes a tool for economic empowerment.
Can you give those examples again?
Sure. Frederick Hudson scaling Pigeonly via crowdfunding when VCs weren't interested. Jelana Webb using it for her sustainable fashion brand for women of color because investors didn't get the cultural significance. A Black-owned sneaker company using pre-sales funded by their own community. These aren't just nice stories. They show how these strategies provide real, viable alternatives when facing systemic barriers.
Yeah, context is really important. What about keys to success for these methods?
The source emphasizes a compelling message and story, transparency with your backers, choosing the right platform, building buzz before you launch, and offering good incentives rewards, early bird deals, stretch goals.
While also being realistic about the challenges, like actually fulfilling all those orders.
Exactly. Powerful tools, but require good planning and execution, no doubt.
Okay, shifting gears a bit. The manual moves on to something crucial for long-term health, maybe overlooked early on. Understanding business credit.
Yes, this is so important for scaling. The source is crystal clear. Business credit is separate from your personal credit score. Building a strong profile for the business is vital for bigger loans later, better supplier terms, and just long-term stability.
Why is relying only on personal credit bad as you grow?
Well, the source points out personal credit has limits, usually lower than what a growing business needs. Plus, using personal cards or loans for business impacts your personal score and finances. It's just not sustainable for serious growth. A strong business credit profile signals credibility specifically for the company. It can help you get, say, net 30 terms from suppliers pay in 30 days instead of cash up front. That helps cash flow hugely.
And the book names the main business credit bureaus in the U.S.
Yep. Dun & Bradstreet, D&B, with their Paydex score, Experian Business, and Equifax Business. Scores usually run 0-100, aiming for 80-plus spend.
And it gives concrete steps to build this credit, like a checklist.
Very much like a manual here. Step 1. Register your business legally, LLC, S-Corp, C-Corp. Step 2. Get an EIN, your business's tax ID. Step 3. Non-negotiable records. Open a dedicated business bank account. Keep finances separate. Step 4. Get a DUNS number from DNB. Step 5. Crucial establish trade lines with vendors who report to the bureaus. Think net 30 accounts. Pay them on time or early. Step 6. Get a business credit card that reports to business bureaus. Use it responsibly. Pay it off. Step 7. Pay all business bills on time. Payment history is key. Step 8. Monitor your business credit reports regularly. Check for errors, fraud.
That's a clear roadmap and a payoff for doing all that consistently.
Big benefits, better loan terms, higher credit limits, less need for personal guarantees, more credibility, and just overall financial flexibility for growth.
And common mistakes that hurt business credit.
The source flags the obvious ones if you're not careful. Mixing personal and business money, late payments, maxing out credit lines, not starting to build credit early enough, and ignoring your reports.
So it's about building and actively managing it.
Exactly. Consistency, strategy, and protection. And your needs will change as you grow, the book notes.
Okay, let's circle back to grants, but from what the source calls an advanced perspective, securing and managing them strategically.
Right. Earlier, we saw grants as a creative funding source. This section treats them as a serious, structured part of a long-term strategy. Still non-dilutive. No equity lost, no debt, which is huge. But they come with conditions. They're tied to specific missions, economic development, innovations, social good, etc.
So alignment is everything. You have to really show how your business meets the grant's specific goals.
Absolutely critical. No generic applications. You need to articulate, often using data, your specific impact, job creation, environmental benefits, technological advancement. Measurable outcomes are key.
And compliance, especially with government grants, sounds intense.
It can be. The source emphasizes stringent reporting, meticulous records, hitting milestones, being ready for audits. Messing up can mean penalties, even paying the money back. Good accounting software is a must.
It also warns against relying on just one grant.
Diversify. Explore local, state, federal, corporate, nonprofit sources. Use a successful grant as leverage. It proves viability, making you more attractive for other funding, maybe even investors later.
Partnerships help with grants too.
Yes. Collaborating with nonprofits, universities, other businesses can strengthen applications. A tech startup partnering with a university for an innovation grant, for example, leverages credibility and resources.
And the advice about building relationships with grant officers seems crucial.
So important. Don't just submit cold. Reach out beforehand. Ask questions. Discuss eligibility. Get feedback. Attend info sessions. It gives you invaluable insight into what they really want.
Using the grant award itself as a credibility booster.
Definitely. Promote it. Press releases, social media. It's an endorsement. Use it to attract more opportunities, partners, investors, more grants. Some programs even offer mentorship.
Sounds like a long game requiring patience.
For sure. The source says securing grants takes persistence. Keep refining your approach. Stay informed. Sometimes hiring grant writers is worth it if it's a core strategy.
And stay adaptable.
Funding landscapes change. Be ready to pivot your strategy based on current trends and opportunities.
And the source contrasts grants and investor funding again here.
Yes, reinforcing the difference. Grants. Eligibility, mission, compliance, no repayment, but restrictions. Investors. ROI, profit, scale, equity control trade-off, pressure for returns. Understanding that difference is vital before jumping into investor pitching 101.
The pitch. Totally different mindset needed here, right?
Yeah.
You're not just showing mission alignment. You're selling a financial opportunity.
Exactly. The source says success here hinges on storytelling, financial savvy, and strategic positioning.
And step one, know your audience. Angels versus VCs versus private equity. They all want different things.
Absolutely. Angels might be individuals. VCs are firms with specific fund mandates. PE looks at mature companies. You have to tailor your pitch. One size does not fit all.
So what's the structure of a winning pitch, according to this manual?
Starts with a killer intro or elevator pitch. 30 seconds. Problem, solution. Why now? Got to grab their attention immediately. Make them lean in.
Hook them fast. Then what?
The clear business case. Market demand. Show your research, trends, customer needs. Competitor analysis. What's your unique edge? Show traction if you have it. Pre-sales, users, partnerships. Proof.
Then the mechanics. The business model.
How do you actually make money? Revenue streams, pricing, customer acquisition costs, path to long-term profitability. Needs to be realistic, sustainable.
Then the numbers. The financials.
Yep. Clear, accurate, compelling revenue, margins, cash flow projections, a solid 3-5 year forecast. Be transparent. Don't wildly inflate things. They'll see through it.
But it's not just about the numbers, is it? They invest in people too.
Huge point. The team strengths section. Highlight your team's expertise, experience. Mention advisors, mentors. They're betting on you to execute.
What about acknowledging the downsides?
Risk assessment. You have to address potential challenges, competition, regulations, market shifts. But crucially, show your mitigation strategies. It shows you're prepared, not naive.
And how do you wrap it up effectively?
With a strong close and a clear ask. Reiterate the vision. State exactly how much funding you need and spell out precisely how you'll use that. Money, product development, marketing, hiring, scaling. Shows you have a plan for their capital.
Confidence and authenticity in the delivery matter too.
Honestly, present with conviction. Answer questions honestly. Let your passion show. Practice that pitch until it's smooth and natural.
Okay, so let's say you've got funding, bootstrapped, creative, or investor. Now you need to grow. The manual moves to scaling on a budget.
Right. Scaling costs money, but the source argues you don't always need massive funding rounds if you're smart about it. It's about efficient management of the resources you have.
Key strategies for scaling lean. What does the source suggest?
Operational efficiency is huge. Streamline processes. Automate tasks, use CRMs, email tools, project management software, reduce manual work, think lean management, eliminate waste.
What about hiring? That gets expensive fast.
Strategic hiring is key. Instead of jumping to full-time staff, consider outsourcing, freelancers, contractors, maybe remote talent from lower-cost areas. Scale your team up or down more flexibly.
Cost-effective marketing seems vital here.
Absolutely. Focus on organic growth, content marketing, social media engagement, SEO, referrals, user-generated content, maybe influencer collaborations, community building. Creativity often beats big ad spends. Build loyalty for word of mouth.
Partnerships come up again for scaling too.
Yes, collaborating with complementary businesses, co-host webinars, cross-promote, bundle services, even barter. Share resources, expand reach, cut costs. And don't forget customer retention. It's way cheaper to keep a customer than find a new one the source says up to 5 times cheaper.
So things like loyalty programs, great service.
Exactly. Increase that customer lifetime value with subscriptions, upsells, perks. It's highly profitable.
And finally, just good old financial discipline.
Reinvesting profits wisely. Focus on high ROI stuff, improving the product, customer experience, sales channels. Prioritize things that actually generate revenue. Avoid unnecessary debt and overhead as you grow.
The source even mentions international expansion being more accessible now.
Yeah, e-commerce, third-party logistics, online marketplaces, digital payments. You can reach global customers without needing physical offices everywhere right away. Still need localization, but the barrier is lower.
So the overall message for scaling is controlled growth. Don't rush it.
Precisely. Don't grow too fast, take on too much debt, expand before you're ready, analyze your data, listen to feedback, watch the finances closely, make informed steps. And the takeaway is that scaling lean often builds stronger, more resilient companies. You're forced to be efficient, innovative, and really strategic.
Okay, all this careful planning leads us to maybe the most critical section, common money mistakes to avoid. Because great ideas can still fail due to bad financial management, right?
Absolutely. The source is blunt. Financial mismanagement is a top reason businesses go under, even with passion and effort. Avoiding these pitfalls is essential for survival, let alone success.
So what are the big ones the source flags?
Number 1, classic mistake. Failing to separate personal and business finances. Causes chaos, tax nightmares, makes tracking impossible. 2, underpricing. Can't cover costs, leaves money on the table, signals low quality, price based on value, market, and costs. 3, no budgeting of financial planning. Blind leads to overspending, missed investments, cash flow crises. Need that roadmap.
Cash flow seems like a recurring theme. Mistake 4.
Ignoring cash flow management. The silent killer. You can have sales, but if cash isn't flowing in and out correctly, you run out of money for bills, even if you're profitable on paper. Need reserves 3-6 months operating costs, the source suggests. 5, over-investing too early. Pouring money in before you have consistent revenue makes you vulnerable. Start lean, reinvest based on proven ROI. 6, debt mismanagement. Too much debt, high interest eating profits. Use debt strategically with a clear repayment plan. 7, overlooking taxes. Not setting aside tax money leads to nasty surprises. Talk to an accountant, make estimated payments.
That covers a lot of ground. Any others the source emphasizes?
Yeah, several more crucial ones. Neglecting financial literacy, just not learning the basics. Failing to plan for emergencies, no buffer fund for the unexpected. Scaling too quickly, hiring or expanding faster than your foundation can support. And ignoring profitability for vanity metrics, chasing revenue numbers instead of actual profit margins.
It also mentions things like not negotiating with suppliers, wasting marketing money, and just having a short-term focus without planning for long-term sustainability.
Exactly, the overall message. Avoiding these takes discipline, foresight, making informed choices consistently, being proactive, not reactive, with your money.
And all these pieces, starting lean, funding smart, managing well, avoiding mistakes, they all build towards the final concepts in the source. Building a profitable business model, and then building wealth beyond your business.
This is where it all comes together, linking the business's health to your personal long-term financial future. A truly profitable model isn't just about sales. It's about optimizing everything, margins, costs, strategy, so the business sustains itself, scales well, and generates maximum wealth.
Key elements of that profitable model.
The source lists things like strategic pricing, value-based, not just cost-plus, smart cost management, lean ops, negotiation, automation, revenue diversification, multiple income streams, digital products, services, licensing reduces risk, strong customer retention, more profitable than acquisition. Reinvesting wisely, focusing on ROI. Scalability, systems that allow growth without proportional cost increases. Planning for downturns, emergency funds. Investing in brand equity allows higher prices, builds loyalty. And having a sound exit strategy planned from early on.
And how does that profitable business engine fuel wealth beyond the business itself?
It becomes the source. You leverage those profits to build other assets, create additional income streams that work for you even when you're not actively running the company day to day.
Strategies for that, what does the source suggest?
Reinvesting profits into passive income streams, maybe real estate, a diversified stock portfolio, even angel investing in other startups. Creating scalable products from your expertise, online courses, ebooks, subscription models, things that detach your income from your direct time input.
Balancing risk is key here too, right? Don't put all eggs in one basket.
Crucial point. Diversify outside the business. Build personal financial stability separate from the company's performance. And the source reminds us tax planning is vital for wealth-building deductions, retirement accounts, tax-advantaged investments.
So the ultimate goal to find here is
Financial freedom. Getting to a point where your passive income from various assets covers your lifestyle, giving you the choice, the flexibility to start something new, take risks, or just step back.
wow. Okay, we have really covered a comprehensive financial blueprint today, a true manual. From challenging that initial need for massive capital, exploring bootstrapping versus investors, creative funding, business credit grants, pitching, scaling lean, avoiding those critical mistakes, right through to building a profitable model and wealth beyond it.
It truly covers the entire life cycle, doesn't it? And the consistent thread, the core takeaway from the source is that financial success isn't just about making money. It's about managing it wisely. Discipline, planning, strategic reinvestment at every single stage. It's that blend of knowing the options and executing smartly.
So after digging through this entire manual, what does it all mean for you listening right now? The source offers a really direct concluding thought. Knowledge alone won't build a successful business implementation well.
That's the challenge, isn't it? This deep dive gives you the strategies, the warnings, the roadmap from this source. But now it's about action. Take these ideas, look at your own situation, your own dream or business. Where can you apply these principles? Start implementing. It's an ongoing journey, not a checklist you finish once.
And the final thought the source leaves us with, really emphasizing that long game. Remember, entrepreneurship is a marathon, not a sprint. Success doesn't happen overnight, but with discipline, resilience, and a strategic approach to finances, you can build a thriving business that stands the test of time. Stay committed to continuous learning, surround yourself with a strong network, and keep pushing forward. Your path to financial success starts now. It's not just about funding the dream initially, it's about building something sustainable, something lasting, definitely something to think about as you move forward.